Cost-benefit analysis. Greenskin campaign buildings in 6.2. There's been some rebalancing done recently, so I wanted to do a big deep dive into details with you. Greenskin settlement buildings currently go for 2,500 gold to get to Tier 2, 4,000 for 3, 6,000 for Tier 4, and 10,000 gold for Tier 5. That's a lot of gold, but I think other races tend to pay a lot more at the top. Economic buildings. Horde buildings are 1,000 for Tier 1, 2,000 for 2, 3,000 for 3. Gold gained is 250, then 375, then 500 per term. While its upfront investment is also consistent bolstering of your base income. Raiden stash is 1,000 for Tier 1, 3,000 for Tier 3, no Tier 2. This locks you out of Horde and vice versa. At least it does now. At Tier 3, one camp is plus 4% post-battle loot, plus 2% raiding, sacking, looting income. Now, Greenskins by default have pretty good values for all of that, so you need a big bunch of these to make a massive difference. But you always want to be at war anyway. You'll just have to pick your poison late game, early game, go Horde, even if it's just the basic building, and stopping there. If you have access to a gold mine, it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 from Tier 1 through 3, from 375 gold to 700 income at Tier 3. Good stuff. Idols, for casualty replenishment and growth, run 750, 1,500, 2,500, and at Tier 3, granting growth plus 40 and casualty replenishment plus 4%. Boss Tent runs for 1,500 at Tier 2, 2,500 for 3, 5,000 for 4, obviously the latter only in major settlements. Using Skarsnik as an example, at Tier 4, Skarsnik's tent would provide Control plus 10 province-wide, Lord/Hero recruit rank plus 2 faction-wide, global recruitment cap plus 1, local recruitment cap plus 2. Powerful stuff. Shaman's Hut is 1,500 Tier 2, 4,000 at Tier 4, and another 5,000 for Tier 5. Even the weakest unlocks Shaman recruitment and grants plus 5 to the wind's power reserved to friendlies in that province and corruption minus 4, plus an Orc Shaman for the garrison with minimal power. Since only higher tiers increase hero cap, build, recruit, demolish, unless in a major settlement. Anti-Plague and Anti-Undercity building is 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 from Tiers 2 through 4. City walls run 2,500, 3,500, 5,000 for Tiers 2 through 4. Skarsnik's home province lacks orcs for the garrison, but his situation is special. 8 Peaks would have orcs even for him though. Minor Settlement runs 2,000 for Tier 2, 4,000 for Tier 3. Same deal, don't expect orcs for Skarsnik. Cavalry runs 500 for Tier 1, 1,500 for 2, 3,000 for 3. Skarsnik restricted to the first until 8 Peaks captured, so Wolf Riders only, not even Goblin Chariots. That's sad. Goblin buildings are 500, 1,000, then 2,500 for Tier 3. And you'll see why I mention this in a second. Orcs run 750 for Tier 1, 1,250 for Tier 2, and 6,000 for Tier 3 for the Black Orcs tier. In other words, per cost performance, unless you're cranking out a lot of Black Orcs, or you're just farming Black Orc big bosses. Again, Skarsnik can't even build the building until 8 Peaks is captured. That's a lot of gold, and this is why I'm going through this, is a big and serious cost performance question. Goblin Fanatics may not be for everyone, but they can put some serious hurt at their price point if you're lucky and or good. Squig building Tier 2 is 1,500 gold. Tier 4 costs 4,000 base. There's a tech which reduces this cost 15% before commandments and WoW trophies, dwarf ones particularly. Of these, the Tier 2 Goblin, Orc, Squig, and Shaman buildings cough up heroes to your capacity limit. It takes Tier 3 for the first two, Tier 4 for the latter to raise capacity. For military support, Tinkerer's Chain for pump wagons, artillery, plus some token scrap and research help is 2,000, 3,500, 5,000 from Tiers 2 to 4. The only thing 4 gets you, unit-wise, is Doom Diver catapults, but they're good. So there. Tier 3 gets you spiky rollers, so if all you need is a rock lobber, Tier 2 is sufficient. Monsters goes from 2,000 Tier 2, 3,500 Tier 3, 6,500 Tier 5. Tier 2 lets you recruit up to your starting capacity of Giant River Troll Hags, so you get extras as Azag. Otherwise it's 1 max. Tier 3 expands that capacity. The building reduces construction costs for all buildings local province, which is very nice. Tier 3 gives you the elite troll variants, so the extent of your DLC support, plus giants, and 5 grants extra cost reductions, plus you can get rogue idols, which are big deals. Spider's Chain is 2,000 for Tier 2, which is sufficient for Spider Riders and Snaglar Legendary Hero recruitment. Tier 4 takes 5,000 gold, and Tier 5 takes 6,500. 4 is for Arachnaroks, and 5 is for Arachnarok Flingers. So for military, we look at it like Goblin's Chain, 4,000 gold. Orc's Chain, 8,000 gold. Cavalry Chain, 5,000 gold. Squig's Chain, 5,500, requires Tier 4. Artillery Wagon Chain, 10,500, requires Tier 4. Troll Idol's Chain, 12,000, requires Tier 5. Spider's Chain, 13,500, requires Tier 5. Shaman, 10,500, requires Tier 5. Boss Tent, 9,000, requires Tier 4. And for economy, Horde takes 6,000 to max, Raiding takes 4,000, but requires army activity to get anything from it, and is percentage based. Minor settlement walls, 6,000 to max, city walls, 11,000 to max. Now, how much all this is worth to you is going to depend an awful lot on who you're playing and how you're playing them. Grimgor is just playing around. Grimgor is just toying around with his foes until he gets a Black Orc tide to wash over the world. Azag can get by just fine with regular orcs and biggins, and some savage upgrades, but he also wants the cavalry versions. Skarsnik wants lots of heroes, but can't get extra shamans or night goblin bosses until tier 4 settlements and buildings, especially for that. He can spam goblin buildings, also he's not restricted from trolling the world, so anything tier 3 could support monster buildings for more hags. That's the end of my breakdown. I hope this has helped you understand a bit of what's going on here and put the cost-benefit issues into sharper focus. Take care and have fun out there.